Oh, yeah. Wow.
Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. It looks like everybody's still out at the jewelry sale or something. Well, welcome. We're so glad to see you. We want you to know your soul is welcome here.
That's right.
And we're going to sing about it.
Yes, we're going to sing about it. Your soul is welcome here. Let's sing about it.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be.
In the right place.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be.
Oh, my soul.
Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome.
Our souls are welcome here. Yeah.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Again. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Yeah. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Well, good morning, Reverend Deborah. Good to see you this morning.
Yeah, it's great to see you, Reverend James, and we greet you.
And Mike. Okay, I may have to switch mics. Switch mics. We make adjustments on the fly. This is the nature of life nowadays.
As I was saying, good morning, Reverend James.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you today.
And we greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred. And in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, stone circles, and the beautiful, beautiful temples of nature, because there is no space that God does not grace. And if you are with us for the very first time, watching us online or here in the sanctuary, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. Every single one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're just so pleased to be able to be together today. And we're also very pleased when you silence your electronic devices, and please keep your masks in the proper place.
Well, before I open up with a prayer, I just wanted to acknowledge a special tribute to a friend that maybe you know, and if you don't know on a personal level, but he was the music director of Unity of Sacramento. He's very much involved in the Unity community, in the arts and music, very creative, lively individual named Reverend Charles Cooper. He made his transition last week, all of a sudden, and we're going to hold him in prayer. I had an opportunity when I first came into Sacramento, I kind of met him at the gym. He came by personal trainer, so I kind of knew him on a different level. And he was a taskmaster, but he was just a great all-around guy. So we sent him to his next assignment with a blessing, and we just hold him in prayer and all those that loved him and knew him. So let's take a moment now to go into that sacred space. And we feel and sense all that he has left behind for those who knew him and even those who did not. For on some level, we're all interconnected and therefore all affected by those who send out positive energy and vibration into this world. We too are here to do our part to make a positive contribution, not only to help lift ourselves, but to support the transformation and upliftment of our community. God needs us to shine God's light, and as we open up ourselves to this presence, then we speak from this presence, we act from this presence, and we become this very presence right where we are. And all those who cross our path somehow are affected because they begin to recognize the truth that dwells within each and every one of us. So we declare today and each day a holy opportunity to let God be God in us. And as we do, we uplift not only ourselves, but our entire world. So we're grateful to be those channels to do so. And we say so in the name and the nature of the Spirit of the living God that dwells within each and every one of us. Amen. Our mission here at Spiritual Life Center is really to make a difference in lives and all those who come here and are on their way. And we do so as we affirm our mission statement: to transform lives as we love, serve, and remember. And we do so by practicing to the best of our ability to live out these 5 basic principles which underlie everything that we say, think, and do as far as our teachings and philosophy. And if anyone asks, well, what does unity stand for? You can say the following: God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God. We must take action. And right now, is anyone born in the month of October? It's birthday month. Yes, we know at least one individual.
The one with the tiara.
And all others will stand. We acknowledge you this month.
All right, let's sing about it.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
I'm so jealous. I wish I had a birthday in October.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Oh, happy birthday in October. Yeah.
Yes, sorry. See, I forgot.
So we're glad that you are here.
Thank you, Shirley Brown, for the beautiful, beautiful flowers that she did for our altar. She does them every first Sunday, and we so appreciate her artistry. Well, today was going to be the last day of the jewelry sale, but it's going so well. They're extending it. They're extending it for another week. So you can go in and shop today and then go home, compare the necklaces to the earrings, and then come back and buy the thing that you need to match. So they'll be over in the chapel. They are also going to keep their commitment, though, to raffle off that beautiful Anushka purse that we talked about last week. So they're going to raffle that off at 12:30 out in the courtyard. So go check out the chapel. There's lots happening over there.
And just to remind you to save the date, because our Light of the World Gala is taking place on November the 19th, and it'll be a hybrid experience. It'll be online and on site as we get creative on how to really light up the world through our gala. So there's still lots of opportunities to be part of that, and we'll be sending out details on what that looks like between now and the gala. So just hold that in consciousness and affirm a magnificent and successful gala for our community. Also, as you know, we are part of the Community Partners Program, in which we support like-minded and mission-compatible organizations in our community and the services they provide in helping change lives. And so today we're going to acknowledge Yoga Seed, and Ruth Bezos is going to introduce the representative from Yoga Seed.
I'm Ruth Bezos, one of the newer members of Spiritual Life Center's Community Giving Partners Committee. And later this month, the committee members will select 12 nonprofit organizations to be SLC's community giving partners in 2022. Today, I'm pleased to introduce this month's community giving partner, Yoga Seed Collective, nominated by Martha Mills. Yoga Seed Collective's mission is to use mindfulness and trauma-informed yoga to assist the unique needs of traumatized persons in Sacramento, such as individuals in jail, psychiatric facilities, recovery homes, and elementary schools. So please give a warm welcome to Alexandra Corelli, Executive Director, Yoga Seed Collective, who will tell us more.
Thank you so much, Ruth. And thank you to Martha for nominating us, and thank you to Spiritual Life Center for having us here today, and for having me here today. I'm Alex. I'm the Executive Director of the Yoga Seed, and I want to start today with a breath. This is how we start everything that we do at the Yoga Seed, with breath and meditation. And please remember that everything I say is a suggestion. It's not required, so just do what you feel comfortable with. So you can begin by closing your eyes and just start to tune in to the rhythm of your own natural breath. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. Feel the connection of your legs to the seat beneath you. Feel yourself firmly rooted in space, connected and grounded. Allow your shoulders to come back just slightly, lifting the crown of your head up towards the sky and then tucking the chin slightly towards the chest. And together we'll take a big inhale and exhale. You can open your eyes whenever you're ready. Thank you for joining me in that. It always makes me feel more grounded. So, the Yoga Seed is dedicated to providing accessible programs and trainings in trauma-informed yoga, mindfulness, and holistic health to our Sacramento community and beyond. We understand the prevalence of trauma and the health effects of toxic stress created by traumatic experiences. We're also currently living in a time of collective trauma, and we understand that yoga is an effective treatment to restore mind-body connection and bring practitioners to a pathway towards health and wholeness. I am deeply grateful to be standing here today at Spiritual Life Center and to meet more spiritual community. And your generous support of our work is going to go a long way. This funding will allow us to continue offering programming in schools, jails, psychiatric hospitals, and providing trainings for those who want to incorporate trauma-informed yoga interventions into their practice of mental health, family medicine, yoga, or other alternative healing modalities. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget your check.
That's right.
And Alex will be in the courtyard after the service, so stop by the table and get to know her better and learn more about Yoga Seed. Oh yeah, there's more. There's lots of things happening at SLC, and as we come into the fall, we always have even more things going on. So go out to the courtyard and check out the bulletin board, and then go on over to the hub and sign up for everything, because that's what we do here at SLC.
And if any of the chaplains are here this morning that are here to pray with folks, or any of our board members, if they would stand. We want to acknowledge you and appreciate you and thank you. The chaplains are wearing the white stoles and are available to pray with you through any challenge you may be going through, or just celebrate anything that's good in life. We don't always have to pray when it's, challenging. We can pray when things are happening and make it even better. So we appreciate your service, and they're available to pray with you right after the service in the courtyard. So we thank the chaplains for their consciousness and all they do for the community. And our board members that are here, they're doing the very important work of really helping us move forward as a community, strategizing, bringing their skills and their talent, and most important, their spiritual consciousness as we move forward to help transform lives in the best way that we can. So we thank them for their service and their time, and they're also available to answer questions you may have about our community. So thank you, members of our Board of Trustees.
And we love to welcome our newcomers. So in a moment, we will ask you to raise your hand. But first, we want you to know there's many, many ways to become connected at SLC. And you can get more information about small groups, classes, and events if you fill out our welcome card. Now, you can fill out that welcome card online, or if you're here in the sanctuary and raise your hand, we will bring you a card. You can fill it out and then take it to the welcome table out in the courtyard, and you will receive a special gift and a very warm welcome.
So anyone here for the first time? Any first timers here this morning at all? Okay, keep your hand up nice and high. Thank you so much. And you're getting a purple ribbon. If you'd like to wear that, we can give you that special Spiritual Life Center greeting. And we invite you to fill out the card to stay connected with us and to let you know what's going on in our community. And we appreciate you, we love you, and we support you on your path as you continue to grow, develop, unfold in your spiritual journey. So thank you for your presence and blessing us with you being here with us today. And with that, I just invite folks to greet a friend, a neighbor, a newcomer in a way that you feel good. Just ask you, how do you want to be greeted? Hug, handshake, a wink, whatever works for you.
Okay, you guys ready for another Paula Mandella song? Would you like to tell them about it, Miss Paula?
Well, I'm curious, how many of you are in a Faith in Action group this year? Good. Awesome.
Yay.
Faith in Action group. All right. Well, the facilitators will have a recording of the new song soon, like on Wednesday. So, but we hope you enjoy it, and we have 7 weeks to learn it, so don't stress out.
Everybody has a story, unique in all their own points of perception, with characters and roles. When we start to name it and we learn to play it, tumbling from the heavens, feeling all alone. These voices live inside my head, the storyteller's lies. is true. Starry nights and moonless skies are calling out to you. Look to the beauty all around and inside you. Know the truth of who you are. Every being on creation, we are a part of the one life with love from source straight to your heart. There are no wrong emotions. What you feel is real. All is perfection, seeking to reveal. Look to the beauty all around and inside you. Know the truth of who you are. Every being, all creation, we are a part, expressions of the one light and love from source straight to your heart. Look to the beauty all around and inside you. Know the truth of who you are. Every being, all creation, we are a part, reflections of the one light with love from source straight to your heart. Look to the beauty. Look to the beauty. You gotta look to the beauty. Look to the beauty. Look to the Look to the beauty. Starry nights, paint your palette blue and gray. Starry, starry nights. Starry nights and moonlit skies, reflections of the night. You gotta look to the beauty. Starry nights, moonlit skies, reflections of the light. Look to the beauty. Paula Mandella.
A magnificent and a beautiful song by our songstress this morning. Well, you know, in Faith in Action, we have, in addition to our unique music or for the occasion, we also have artists. And artists do a pictorial representation of the theme for each week. And today's artist is Paul Sanchez, and his artwork is entitled La Manzana. I hope I got the correct pronunciation of that. Yes. And this is what Paul writes about his artistic rendition. A famous writer once embedded an acrostic using the first letters of each word in his final paragraph, forming a message in his short story, The Vain Sisters. Like that story, this painting, La Manzana, has an assortment of embedded words, symbols, archetypes, and other subconscious surprises supporting the theme of choice. Don Miguel Ruiz reminds us of a profound and simple truth. The only way to end our emotional suffering and restore our joy in living is to stop believing in lies, mainly about ourselves. Adam and Eve, representing humanity, chose to take in the lie, eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge rather than reside with the tree of life. At that point, separation began, and we lost our divine selves. I assert in this painting that this is a choice, right here, right now, in the present moment. We can choose joy or suffering, divine mind or ego mind, life or knowledge. The choice is ours. I offer this choice: create happiness or own suffering. Every wise individual selects eternal life. Yoli. And he told me that's kind of like, an affirmation of sorts. That it's good. So thank you. Living life. Living life. Living life. Thank you, Paul. And each week we have an affirmation to affirm the theme and topic of the month. And I invite you to join in and affirm this affirmation together. Let us say it now. I open my authentic self. I speak only truth about myself. I am worthy, whole, holy. And so it is.
And now I invite you to speak out loud together our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now, in preparation for our meditation, we're going to learn another new song, a chant. It's a beautiful chant. It's become one of my favorites. We did record it during lockdown, so it did show up in several services last year. But now we have the opportunity to sing it in person.
Spirit in me, live through me, love through me, be through me. As we continue to settle in, take a gentle breath. Let go. Relax into your chair. Drop your shoulders. Relax your eyelids. And just breathe normally and allow yourself to drift into a light daydream. You're walking through a well-tended park. It's early fall. The air is cool and crisp. Nature is in full autumn display all over this park. Sunflowers, garden mums, African daisies are all in full bloom. Trees are boasting their autumn colors in a fiery palette. In the center of the park stands a stately apple tree, laden with its fall bounty of golden apples. The sun glints off of the apples, which seems a little odd until you come closer and you see that the apples are actually gold spheres made to look like apples. Reaching to a low branch, you pick one of the golden apples. And as you cradle it in both hands, the metal feels very warm, and then it begins to glow. And it gently splits down the middle and slowly opens to reveal a message written on the face of the apple. The message says, "You are an amazing, wondrous being." Curious, you reach for another apple. It too glows and falls open in your hands. And that message says, "You will never be good enough." Undaunted, you take yet another apple. And the message inside this one says, "Believe in yourself. You are a child of the universe." And so you try one more time. And this other apple gives you a message that says, "Give up now and settle for what you have." Wondering what is going on, you sit down and lean against the tree. And now you spot a small sign at the base of the tree that says, "Tree of Knowledge." And now this makes sense to you. You know that knowledge is not always truth. And you know that the world gives you mixed messages. So with the apples sitting before you, you take a moment to reflect on which messages you want to listen to, which you want to believe, which you choose to take into your heart in the silence. You have chosen to believe that you are an amazing, wondrous being, and you feel safe and secure in that truth. Curious again, you pick up an apple, and it opens to the message, "Congratulations on opening to inner peace." You try another, and that message is, "You are an expression of love and light." And now you know that every message will be positive and supportive, something you can listen to and believe. In the process of standing up, you notice that the sign now says, "Tree of truth. In gratitude, you walk back down the path to return to your body in this world. As you take a deep breath and start to become aware of your body and surroundings, receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, the truth of who you are is not a secret. It is within, waiting to be discovered. When you turn from knowledge and listen to the truth about yourself, you will soon fully know who you are, and you will live through the eyes of love. Remember this, always.
This is your life, and yes, somehow, who decides what you're about? You learn your lines and take your cues, but who are you listening to? You change your clothes and how you speak. You place your hope in what they think. Before you know, there's no more you, so who are you listening to? Have you noticed how much you fear all those voices you choose to hear? Who are you listening to? Who tells you what to do? Who rules your thoughts at night? Rules define your life. Oh, you know it's up to you. So who are you listening to? This is your life. You have a choice. Will you rely on someone's voice? And it's alright to question who, so who are you listening to? Do the words that you believe set your soul and spirit free? And who are you listening to? And who tells you what to do? Define
I'm listening to y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, good morning once again. You know, that first line of their song that they sang, it says, "This is your life." So the question I have is, life grand or what? If not, keep listening. Friends, welcome to this year's Faith in Action series. That's based on Don Miguel's book, his Toltec wisdom book, The Voice of Knowledge. And he subtitles it, A Practical Guide for Inner Peace. And of course, we know that inner peace is not in any way, shape, or form dependent upon what takes place in the outside world. It's all about what's going on within us, our inner change and transformation, in which we recognize that the power is indeed lies within. And those who recognize this, and they hang out for any length of time, sometimes if they get into it, they may run away screaming because they're not necessarily willing to be transformed by the renewing of their minds and hearts. Because this is not a neutral place. It's a transformational community. And we're here to take the words to heart from Mahatma Gandhi when he said that we must be the change that we want to see. So, like I said, we don't come here to stay the same. As I mentioned from time to time, we accept you as you are, but we do expect you to change. We're here to grow from God's glory to greater glory. And of course, those who don't, once they find out what it's about, they leave quickly. I understand. Because this transformational energy is no joke. Because oftentimes it could either drive you crazy or drive you sane, and we want to be sane in God, sane in life. So welcome to Faith in Action. We realize that the word faith is sometimes tossed around quite a bit. I used to look around at people in my family, and I used to say, my God, they got a lot of faith. They just have faith. And I often believe that meant faith in God. And if we have enough faith, then somehow this presence that we call God will show up. Our prayers will be answered. We have enough faith in this God presence. It'll solve all problems. It'll meet our needs. Particularly if we're good enough, this presence will show up and rescue us from whatever challenges or circumstances we may find ourselves in. And so I may say, man, I wish I had the faith of so-and-so. They seem to have so much faith. As if some people, some folks have more faith than others. But as we get on this path, we realize that faith is a spiritual faculty inherent within all of us. It's already whole. It's already complete. We have all the faith we're ever going to have. Don Miguel, when he talks about faith, he says, faith is an agreement. It's an agreement when you agree to believe in something without a doubt. And it may be anything, but whatever it is, whatever we have belief in without a doubt, we invest our faith in. So the question that's for us today, are we going to invest in the tree of knowledge or in the tree of life? The topic of the day. And I shared earlier that something crossed my mind. I was thinking about, this tree of knowledge, many years ago. I was, very strong fan of a team in Florida. We used to play, another college team, the University of Nebraska. And they were, at that time, a powerhouse. They would just maul over everybody. And I used to, joke with a friend of mine, and we used to kind of go back and forth about, how our respective teams were not that good. And I said one time that, Nebraska is really nothing but a football factory. That's all they really do. They don't really have anything related to, high academics. And that person said, no, that's not true. He said, can you look on there and see that field out there? Do you see that big N that's on the middle of the field? And he asked me, do you know what that stands for? And I said, I think I do, but tell me. He said, it stands for knowledge. Made my point. But the tree of knowledge is nothing more than the untruth that we accept as true. You know, I often say that someone told me a lie believed acts as truth until it's neutralized by the truth. But the tree of life is the foundation of everything in existence. It's when we see with spiritual eyes. It's a place of peace. It's a place of joy and wisdom and freedom. It's a place of eternal love that comes straight from the force, straight from the source that we call God. So I was thinking about this talk this week and kind of reflecting, meditating, and trying to say, well, I don't want to say exactly what's in the book. I got to add a little something to it. And something told me to share this anecdote that just kind of popped up in my mind. Now, I often tell you that something is another name for God. I don't know if you ever had that experience. You get ready to go somewhere or, you know, and do something, and you say, you know, that something is telling me to do this. Or something has told me, don't go down this street today. And then you find out you do it anyway, and it's blocked or there's some traffic there. So this something was telling me to say this story, and I was saying, no, I don't want to do it. But something kept nudging me. And I'll make it part of the talk. So here we go. You know, I just thought about the idea, you know, there's a life force, for example. And this life force is in the womb, and it's not anything yet. But it's getting a little cozy there. It feels good. You know, it's getting all the food that it wants. It's getting all the nourishment that it needs. And it starts growing, and it gets a little confined in there, but it doesn't know anything else. So it just adapts, and everything seems to be all okay. And then suddenly the birthing process happens. It gets out of its comfort zone. It starts feeling distress and duress, and it's thinking, you know, it doesn't quite know what's happening, but it's probably having a feeling that there's something wrong here. And all of a sudden it comes out and it sees all the bright lights and see these giant people, and one of the people grabs him by his legs and smacks him on his butt. And I don't know if they really do that or anything, but, you know, but it does wash him off all of a sudden. And it's probably saying, hey, I just don't quite feel what I'm used to. But it doesn't focus on that because there's all this other stuff that's going on that it doesn't quite understand. And it's traumatic, perhaps. But the trauma begins to fade. It fades in the background. It's not conscious of it anymore. It may still be there in the unconscious that there's something not quite right. There's something wrong, but it settles down. It starts hearing words being spoken to it, you know, mama, dada, granny, grandpa, auntie, whatever. And every time somebody comes up to her, it starts saying this one word over and over again. It said, little Chucky, whatever his name is. And then it realized, oh, they're talking about me. And when this comes up, I need to start paying attention. And then it starts overhearing some conversations like, those people are scary. You know, these are the things you need to be afraid of. Those people are over there, they're not like us. Oh, they've been starting hearing things that happen in the world. They say, oh, ain't it awful? Oh, this is bad. That's a horrible person over there. They were born on the wrong side of the tracks. Or there's something ungodly about them. Or they're not good enough. I'm not good enough. They hear all of this stuff. And the next thing you know, little Chucky is thinking just like everybody else around them. And it just accepts what's going on and just says, that's just the way it is without question. When it takes in those beliefs, that becomes its mindset. And that equals the tree of knowledge. The falsehoods, what Don Miguel Ruiz calls the lies that are believed, that are accepted as truth. These untruths that have nothing to do with who and what we really are. That has nothing to do with the source from which we have come, that we represent all its qualities. It has nothing to do with that tree of life. You know, Don Miguel Ruiz references the Adam and Eve story and how the serpent or the snake was once an angel that delivered God's message. And this was from the tree of life. But it became a fallen angel, and now it's giving a message from the tree of knowledge. It starts delivering these falsities, and these falsities indicate fear instead of love. And we begin to believe the fallen angels' stories. Those are the committees in our mind that are telling us over and over again that there's something less than operating in your life. And we begin to put our faith energy in that. And it begins to live in us. And it becomes, on some level, our own personal belief system. It becomes part of our paradigm. See, believing in this untruth or the lies, as Miguel talks about, is that tree of knowledge. And when we live from that, we create all kinds of injustice, and there is violence and abuse and suffering and judgment and the belief in separation and the need to punish or to be punished, not only on an individual level, but on a collective level, on a societal level. Because we bought into the belief that the tree of knowledge that is not from the presence of God, we bought into something that is not from that tree of life. But here's the thing, we always have a choice. And choice is dependent upon, as that song says, who are we listening to? Or what are we putting our trust in? You know, some of you many years ago, from my previous life, you know, I practiced law, and of course you had to go to law school first. And I don't remember most of my professors, but there was one guy there his name was Walter Wayrock. I only remember his name. Another guy named Walter Prober. I don't know why I remember the Walters for some reason. But Walter Wayrock, you know, I would go into his class and he taught family law, and he was way ahead of his time in seeing what was going to happen 10, 20, 30 years down the line. But the first couple of weeks I was in this class, I couldn't understand what he was saying. You know, he was brilliant, but he had a German accent, and it was very thick, so it took me like a couple weeks to kind of get into the groove in what he was saying. But anyway, what I remember him saying, and I don't remember anything else he said that when you get in this profession, you have to remember, trust nothing and no one without fully investigating the source. And I always remembered that because sometimes people would tell me stuff, and I think it sounds really good. And then I find out it had nothing to do with what was going on. We have to go to the source. You know, in the Gospel of Matthew, it states that no man or woman can serve two masters, for either they will hate one or love the other, or else they will hold on to one and they'll despise the other. You cannot serve both God and mammon simultaneously. And as I interpret that from this reading from this week, God equals the tree of life. Mammon equals the tree of knowledge. And the question is, whom shall we serve? We either go with the God-inspired ideas of spirit, the qualities of this presence of wisdom and love and abundance, or we can go with the material, the mammon, which is changeable. And those things originate from the unspiritualized ego and usually is rooted in some form of lack or limitation or a belief in not enough. Because depending on what we are giving our attention to, it will determine the predominant thoughts that we have and ultimately our life experience. So we ask the question, whose thoughts are we thinking? Who are we listening to? Now, this ought to be a mantra. It ought to be a statement that we ask frequently throughout the course of our day. You know, lately, one of the things I've been doing in the morning is getting up and writing out, well, what's my intention? Not just my to-do, but what's my intention for today? You know, what's one of my bigger goals? It's not a task, but a way of being. And one of them is to ask myself to make sure, or telling myself to monitor my thoughts. Just periodically just stop, monitor the thoughts, and see where I'm having limited thinking, where I'm having that voice of knowledge thinking, and to help us kind of wake up. You know, real thinking is when we move into the realm of God and we receive divine inspiration. You know, in the Eastern cultures, that's what real thinking is about. You know, in the Western cultures, it means to create, to bring something into the visible world. But when we combine both of them together, then we begin to first connect with that tree of life, those spiritual ideas that move through the realm of God by becoming still and then being captured by that divine inspiration. And then we bring that divine inspiration into fruition. But here, most people, what they do is not think. It's simply what I call the rehashing of the mentation of the ego. Now, I don't know if mentation is a word, but I just made it up, so it's a word now. But that equals the voice of knowledge. And often masquerades itself as thinking and just moves through the human consciousness. In other words, there's so many people that have been hypnotized into a belief of a sense of separation from this presence, from this force, from this source that we call God, that they've been taught that. Many of us have been taught that. We begin to feel it. We begin to experience it. And what moves them is not thoughts from the presence, but the rehashing of fears and doubts and worries and self-imposed limitations. That's the voice of knowledge. And it runs the gamut of the human experience. And oftentimes we just accept it because that's kind of what we've accepted. You know, I always think about, the stories of the Hatfields and McCoys. If you ask them, well, how did all this begin? We don't know, but our parents told us we had to believe like this, and that's how it is. And oftentimes life begins to follow that pattern. But real thought, and any thought I should say, comes from one of two realms, the realm of God, which is a high vibration, and that's everywhere, that is inspirational, that is that tree of life that Don Miguel Ruiz talks about. And then there's the sea, what I call of mental garbage. I get caught up in that from time to time. Those are the highly charged thought forms of our world. It's known as mammon, as it says in that scripture, or the tree of knowledge that Don Miguel talks about. And this sea of debris is what many people participate in all day long. And that particular mentation of ego has thoughts of fear and separation and breeds more and more of that. It has, children and family members and leads to acquisition, manipulation, and domination. So we need to ask ourselves throughout the course of our day, who am I listening to? What thoughts am I thinking? I remember I was very young, and so some of these memories just pop into my mind from time to time. And, I was with my mother, and I didn't know any better. I see a piece of candy on the floor, and I pick it up and, put it in my mouth, knock it out of my hand and say, put that down, put that down. You don't know where that has been. You don't know what kind of dirt had been on top of that candy before you start putting it in your mouth. And I realized we probably need to do the same thing over our thoughts. We need to put down certain thoughts because we don't know where that thought may have been before it came to us. We don't know whose mind that went through, that low vibration, what they were thinking about. They may be thinking thoughts that come from a reality theory that has nothing to do with reality at all. So we ask ourselves, who and what am I listening to? Is it the tree of knowledge or is it the tree of life? And if it's the tree of knowledge, we know it's going to be fear-based. As it says, there's only two emotions. There's love and there's fear. And when we're in that fear consciousness, there's a lot of worry there. It has something to do with limitation or lack. That does not come from the qualities of God. It is not from that tree of life. But like I said, we always have a choice. We have the ability to name things. That's what it says in the initial part of the book of Genesis. And as someone said in one program, we're as humans, we're meaning-making machines. We're making meaning out of circumstances that are neutral. They are what they are. But what we do, we place our perception on top of that, and we give meaning to those things. So we end up creating and inducing different states of awareness and consciousness, and it begins to clothe itself as our experience. Yet individuals create all kinds of excuses as to why they may be in that particular state that they're in. Because what has begun, their thoughts have become a cycle. And they think this is how it's supposed to be. Because they say things like, this is how it's always been. My parents acted like this. Oh, my grandparents acted like this. And they thought like this. This is the way it's always been in my life. You don't understand, Rev, if I'm talking to him. That's just the way it is. This is the environment in which I came from. This is the kind of environment I came out of. I've been conditioned to believe everything that happens and everything that happens is about me. It's about me. So they're eloquent in citing chapter and verse. And when that first state of mind was invoked, particularly if someone spent a whole lot of money digging into how that state happened in the first place, and they'll say, I remember, when I first became sad in my life, my father walked out the door. When he closed the door, it slammed. And every time I hear a door slam, I get sad because I know it is about me. That door is about me. Now, I'm not discounting any of that. We all have our stuff that happens to us. I'm just saying that we have control over the meaning. We have control over the pictures in our mind, and we can take dominion and control and give everything new meaning. Everything. So the question is, the tree of life or the tree of knowledge? We have that choice today. And we can unhook from the false notions and proclaim our life is indeed the life of God. We can proclaim that our life and our breath is the breath of God. We can proclaim that our love is the love of God that moves through us, and that is the love of God. If we walk in this awareness, we will begin to activate unseen and even untapped latent power within our soul. We just have to drop the false personal belief systems so that we may activate and give away what the Spirit of the living God has already given us. We got it all. It's already here. And what we need to do is shine it. We just need to express it. We just need to respond to the God presence, also known as the tree of life, and then go forth and be it. Because what we need to do is shift our own perceptions. This is the choice that we always have. We all have stuff in our life. The external world may be beating us up, maybe on an individual level or a collective level. At least that's our interpretation. But we need to know that things that are disturbing, that appear to be happening to us, those experiences, they just happened. But they do not have the final word because we have control over our inner attitude. We're here to develop a strategy so we can have that strength to hang out in the faith of love and joy, regardless of the experiences. And if we do, those God ideas that are everywhere find a corresponding vibration in us. And then we can say the same thing that the master teacher Jesus said when he said that the prince of the world will come and find nothing in me. Really what he was saying is that I'm not open to the contagion of the worldly thought. It does not vibrate at my center. I'm not interested in it. It can be all around me, but it cannot influence me in any way. You and I can say the same thing when we stop going against ourselves. That's when Don Miguel Ruiz, he calls that sin. I always call sin nothing more than self-inflicted nonsense. We do it to ourselves. So we can say, I'm so interested in God. I'm so interested in beauty. I'm so interested in being my higher self. I did not even notice the emotional contagion that swept through the country. I did not even notice or hear the gossip that was going on in the world. I didn't even notice or know about everyone that was so upset about that news item that came into our life. I was so into knowing the truth. Yes, I heard about the facts. I saw the changeable facts, but it has no emotional influence on me. I was rooted in the tree of life. I was standing in the light of my own understanding that the power and the love of God is right here always. And as we remember that is the truth. And it is the truth that liberates us and sets us free. And so it is. Let it be. So we kind of laid in the foundation for the first week. Faith in Action, the Tree of Knowledge, the Tree of Life from Don Miguel Ruiz. And next week, we're going to be talking about an artist's point of view. And if you want to know what the color next week, it is orange. And of course, you know, we go to the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So just remember the rainbow succession. I think that's, unless they change that, because, you know, they change stuff after a while, you know, like Pluto's no longer a planet, you know, things like that. But right now, I think the rainbow colors are staying the same. So next week, we'll be back with that. At this time, I'd like to speak to those who are online and just invite you to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift, with your donation. If you'd like to help spread this consciousness and this message to others, you can gift us so we can continue to provide this message to many who are looking for it in this interesting time that we're going through today. And you can support and give to Spiritual Life Center by texting SLC Love to 44321. That's SLC Love to 44321. Or you can go to our website, slcworld.org. We'll give you ways to give in other manners, including sending a check by mail. So for those who are present, let's take our gift, our love offering, and symbolically raise it to heaven, which is ever-expanding good, which is part of that tree of life that we're talking about, that when we get involved in that flow, we begin to get things come back to us, maybe not in monies, but in good, in so many different ways. And so to amplify that truth, let's affirm our offertory blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Inside my head there lives a dream that I want to see in the sun. Behind my eyes there lives a me that I've been hiding for much too long. Cause I've been too afraid to let it show. Cause I'm scared of the judgment that may follow. Always putting off my living for tomorrow. It's time to step out on faith. I've got to show my faith. It's been elusive for so long, but freedom is mine today. I gotta step out on faith. It's time to show my faith. Procrastination had me down, but look what I have found. And I found strength, courage, and wisdom. It's been inside of me all along. Strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me. Yeah. Behind my pride there lives a me, and it knows humility. Inside my voice there is a soul, and at my soul there is a voice. But I've been too afraid to make a choice, cause I'm scared of the things that may be missing. Running too fast to stop and listen. It's time to step out on faith. I've gotta show my faith. It's been elusive for so long. Procrastination had me down, but look what I have found. And I found It's been inside of me all along. Strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah. I close my eyes and I think of all the things that I want to see. 'Cause I know now that I've opened up my heart, I know that anything I want can be. So let it 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 be. And strength, courage, and wisdom, it's been inside of me all along. Sing along if you want to. Strength, courage, and wisdom, it's been inside of me all along. And every time I pray for strength, courage, and wisdom inside of me, oh, 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 oh. And strength, courage, and wisdom, and inside of me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I found it in me. I found it finally. I found it in me, and I'm gonna keep it. So thank you, 'cause I found it. Sometimes I ask, sometimes I need to find what I need to be free. Drum solo, go for it. Hey, and I found it in me. Come on, you guys need to stand up. I'm trying to work it.
I found it.
There you go. Hey, and I found it. Paula, you want to take a solo? Hey, I found it. Come on, sing, ready? Hey. That's fun.
I think you need to have a little bit more fun up here. Yes, we found it.
She found it.
She found it. Helped us find it as well. Well, we bless the tithes and offerings, the giving, knowing that we are in that flow of circulation. And we'll bless the givers as well as the receivers to help support this community that's providing a channel and a place for those who are looking for that higher way of being in life. And then, of course, we flow it out to support other organizations, such as the yoga organization that was shared about today as one of our recipients of our community giving. So we're grateful to be in this flow. We also affirm and send a blessing out to those who left prayers in the prayer box. And we know that all of us have challenges from time to time, but when we do, we have something and we can always lean on, and that is the presence of pure being. So we know that the prayer is already answered in the mind and the heart of pure spirit, and we begin to hold the consciousness so that we become one with that answer. And we know it's always good, even if we don't always understand it. It is done. We're grateful and thankful as we go forward doing our part to amplify the all good and support those who are seeking that higher ground in life as well. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Amen. And let us join together as we affirm our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. I am, and all is well. And with that, let us sing our peace song. Blessings. Have a great day.